Hi everyone, I'm Jodi Barrows with The Square in a Square, and I have been asking you to send me emails on videos that you would like to see, and this one is one of those submitted emails. A lady said that her and her sister have been working on trying to learn how to do miters for a border or any time that you need a miter in a block, like maybe an attic window. And she said, what is an easy way, or how can we learn how to miter these corners? So before we get down to showing you how to do this, I want to remind you that our website info is squareinasquare.com, and the Facebook page you're watching and where we do our live video sessions, that is facebook.com/squareinasquare. And of course, we would like for you to follow and like and join. And our YouTube is youtube.com/Jodi Barrows. And then you can email us at jodi@squareinasquare.com. And any of those will get you access to the videos. Now, also remember that we have a premium membership, and if you would like info on the premium membership where all the videos are stored, there's hundreds of them there. You can go in and watch anytime that you want. Go to squareinasquare.com/premium, and when you go there, you'll sign up with your email, and you will be able to get a little bit of information about it, and we'll send you another email with more details about it. Now, we only open our membership and our enrollment at certain times, so you for sure want to be on that list. Now, when you want, some of you may be thinking, well, what does it mean to miter a corner? So let's play like that. This is our quilt right here. This is our quilt, and we are wanting to do a mitered border on it. So the corner of the square or of the quilt is a 90. So you're going to have a seam for these borders here that is a 45-degree angle that comes out to the corner, and that is called a mitered corner. It equals a 45-degree angle or seam. Now, where the problem comes in is figuring seam allowances and how to put it together nice and simple. So let's look at that. You have two sizes that you have to know about. The smaller size is the sewn size, or the finished size, or the graph paper size. And that's when everything is just like this. Boom, boom, boom. See how there's no seam allowances on there. The finished or the sewn equals the smaller size. So what we want to do is we need to figure out, when this is our quilt and these are our borders, how do we know how to cut this so that we have the correct seam allowance everywhere that we need to do? So maybe you could do just a quick little exercise with paper like we're doing here and kind of get the hang of what you're doing. Of course, you need to use an appropriate size ruler with a 45-degree angle on it. I'm working small here, so I have a little one. And then if you was working on a quilt with a wider border or whatever, then you would need a larger ruler. So the first thing you need to do is you need to take your 1/4 of an inch seam and draw that off on your paper. So this is your seam line here. So this is where the seam is going to come together. That's your seam line area. And this is your seam allowance. So when you cut your fabric, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to cut it at an angle, but we'll show you. So take your 45 and lay it along the edge of your strip or your border or your fabric, and you cut. And see how that gets you your 45-degree angle, and you can see how that would go into the quilt like this. Like this. So that's first of all how you're going to get your 45-degree angle in there. So now what we need to do is come in here and figure our seam allowances. So I think well, first of all, let's just draw it here, and then we're going to try it on this little piece of fabric so you can actually see how it works. So come in here and draw your 1/4 of an inch seam line on both of these edges and find out right where that comes together. So in a perfect world, when you sew, that seam would need to match up right there, and this seam would need to match up right there, And then you would have this seam right here that is sewn, and that's how you would get your angle. But now let's look at how we're going to mark that and how we're actually going to do that with our fabric. So I did what I call partial seams, meaning that I have on this one I left it open so that you could see, and on this one I sewed all the way down to the end of it. So here you can see your seam and your fabric. So I don't have to draw my 1/4 of an inch seam line here because I already have it. But on this one, I don't have it, and I need to find that point right there. So I draw my 1/4 of an inch, and there you can see it right there. Right there is where it needs to come together. So I want to take my ruler, and I want to keep this 45-degree line right here on the seam, and I want that 1/4 of an inch line right there to be right there at that dot. So there's my 45 on the seam, and there's my 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the ruler right there. And so I draw my line just like that. So this is actually where I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut this right here because my seam is going to be right there coming off. So I need to do the same thing here with this. So we're going to pull that one back and lay this one down. And my fabric gets a little bit dark, but I have my 1/4 of an inch seam line drawn here, just like I would here on my piece of paper when I drew my 1/4 of an inch line there. And then from that dot, I'm going to put my ruler on there and draw this one here. So there's my 45 on there, my 1/4 of an inch from that dot, draw it on there. So now I can cut right on those lines. So let's see if this is going to work. And I would actually use a rotary cutter, but because this is little and it's already kind of sewn and turned, I'm just going to use my scissors. And these were cut lines that I was drawing because I went that 1/4 of an inch off of that dot where the seams are going to be. Okay, so this one is sewn all the way down, and you can do that. Well, no, probably not. I wouldn't sew. So if you did sew all the way down, I would take those stitches out right there real quick so that your fabric will move on you. So you have to sew all the way down here to the dot and to the seam. And then when you have done that, and I love a machine where the needle is an automatic down. So leave the needle, when you sew here, leave the needle down, all the way down, so that it's pierced all the way through your fabric. So let's play like that is your sewing machine right there, all the way down. Then you can turn your piece and just kind of pivot it around, smooth it out, and that needle holds your spot. And then you can come back in here and sew a 1/4 of an inch from your cut edge, just like you normally do. And when you open it all back up and you get it sewn on there, that is your mitered edge, just like that. So hopefully this exercise has helped you learn a little bit about it. And I would say just practice a little bit and think about the seam allowance edge on there. And you can always cut more off, but it's hard to put more on. So I hope you have enjoyed our quick little live session. Be sure and send us an email, and I'll put these back on here again, and we'll do a video, and we'll help you with what it is that you're trying to learn, because quilting can be fun and exciting, and piecing doesn't have to be scary. You can make those quilts that you've always dreamed of. Remember, squareandasquare.com. Facebook.com/squareandasquare. Remember to like and join and set your notifications so you'll know about all of our live video sessions. And YouTube.com/Jodi Barrows. Email us, Jodi@squareandasquare.com, and go and sign up for information for our premium club at squareandasquare.com/premium. And we'll be right here to help educate you and teach you, motivate you, and maybe even make you laugh a little bit. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.